Hey gang, welcome to the channel. So this time last week I picked up my very own 2020 Kia Niro 3 Hybrid. And in that time I covered around 650 miles. And I'll let you guys know today how I've gone on with it, all the good things, all the bad things. And let's start with the fact that this car actually looks really good. And when I bought this car I thought it was more of a gloss white, where it turns out it's more of a metallic, maybe even a pearlescent white, and in the sun it really pops. Now, since I bought this car, I've had several messages, phone calls, texts of various people asking me about the car because they're generally interested. And the first thing people tend to ask is, what's it like on the fuel? So please guys, bear in mind this car is basically an SUV hybrid, not a small hybrid, not a hatchback hybrid. It is quite a big heavy car and I'm not a very sensible driver. So this car's averaged over the past week 57.5 miles per gallon. Now that's not bad. And bearing in mind as well, not just that it's me driving it, but the driving it's done as well. It's been mostly of an evening, mostly around town, a few dual carriageways, a small amount on the motorway. And then on Saturday I went on a road trip with my son into North Wales at over 100 miles. There's 70 on the motorway, and then around the A and B roads, the twisty roads and sport mode the whole time. So actually that's quite impressive. And last night in work, I did just over 60 miles per gallon. I think it was 60.8 miles per gallon. And that was all again round town. I was driving a bit more sensibly, although not always sensibly. So I'm impressed with the MPG of this car, to be completely honest. Now, what's this car like to drive? Well, the drive is surprisingly firm. It's reasonably firm suspension, and it's got quite low profile tyres as well. In fact, it's got 17-inch wheels, and it's got 225 45 R17 tyres wrapped around it, which are more like a sports car kind of tyre than an SUV kind of tyre. So around town it is a little bit firm. You know, sometimes you get shocked by an occasional pothole. Speed bumps are generally slow down for a bit more than I would normally. But out on the open road, on twisty B roads, it is an absolute joy to drive. It is like you're driving something a lot more sporty than what you think. Now back to sensible round town driving again. The turning circle in this car is fantastic. It's got a really tight turning circle. You can turn around almost anywhere. Very impressed with that. And the headlights are fantastic, especially compared to my old car, the old Mark V Ford Mondeo, which basically had no headlights. This car has fantastic headlights, so that's really great again. It is a surprisingly sporty drive, this car. And then when you throw it back into eco mode and everything slows down a little bit, it's a comfy, refined drive. It's very, very impressed with this car. So now we're on to the interior. Now inside there is lots of room in this car. I've worked all week as a taxi driver, a private hire driver, and not once have been kicked in the back of the seat, which is great. A passenger in the front seat, there's plenty of space between me and them, which again is great. The boot's not massive, but it's definitely big enough for the job. Especially when you think underneath the boot and the spare wheel well, there's a bit of space in there to put your own stuff. So I've put jump leads in there, and I've put a few of the bits and bobs in there as well. I want to keep away from the general public. The glove box is tiny, which is annoying, but there is a neat cubby hole in between the two front seats. Side note as well, the door cards, the little pocket in the door cards, is just perfect fit to fit a coin holder. Nice one, Kia. I've not just used this as a private hire car, I've used it as a family car, and I've used it on a road trip as well. And again, my son's had loads of space in here, my missus has loads of space in here. There's no fighting for space. It's fantastic for both jobs in here. Now, another good thing I'd like to mention about this car is the stereo really is good. Now, I didn't realise until I bought this car, it's actually an 8-speaker system, and the speakers are made by JBL. So it's got to be a half-decent system. Now, some bad notes to mention, unfortunately. So the first one being a minor point. The interior lights are bad. Really bad. So I've invested a massive £13.99 in some LED lights. Now I'm going to feature this in a video next. I'll be doing it this week sometime. So if you want to know how to change the interior lights and you want to see what the difference is, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, and it should be uploaded in a couple of days, the video. Now, another thing inside which is slightly annoying is the fact the rear seat belts tend to bang around on the rear plastics. Now this is irritating, so I'm going to have to find a fix for this, because that's going to drive me insane. I suppose you use it as a family car only, it would never annoy you because the seat belts will be on. So I'll have to find out a way to lessen that noise. Now another thing that's slightly annoying with this car is if there's any water at all outside the car, on the windscreen, on the roof, and you put your driver's window down, that water's coming in the car. So you guessed it, we'll be getting some wind deflectors on this car soon, so that'll be another video as well soon, guys, so make sure again you subscribe. Now if you are looking at buying a Kia Niro and you're not sure and you want to ask me any questions, absolutely feel free to ask away, not a problem. If you already have a Kia Niro and you've already noticed the problems I've noticed and you found a solution, please feel free to mention them too in the comment section. Thank you very much. Now overall, I've been epically impressed with this car. I've had real fun driving it. It's been a pleasure to drive. It's been nice to drive in a calm manner. It's been nice to drive around town. The fact that it's an automatic has made life so much easier around traffic. Again, it's a little bit on the firm side, but I quite enjoy driving it properly because of that, so that's the trade-off, I guess. Plenty of room inside, all the kit's fantastic. It's even though it's a mid-range, it feels like a top-of-the-range car. And again, I mean, that gorgeous metallic white paint, it really pops in the sun. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening to me waffle on. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like and subscribe. And thanks so much for watching, and you guys take care.